The first U.S. military aircraft carrying detained migrants to Guantanamo Bay landed in Cuba on February 5, as President Donald Trump's administration prepares to potentially house tens of thousands of migrants at the naval base in Cuba. U.S. Department of Homeland Security spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin said, the military flight to Guantanamo Bay carried 9 to 10 immigrants. As soon as the news broke, it immediately sparked public protests.
Me personally, I voted for Harris, and a lot of people were saying that Donald Trump is a fascist, and I didn't want to say that, but looking at it right now, there's no other word to describe it. People are being sent to Guantanamo Bay for being illegal immigrants. It's crazy. I don't think enough people are seeing what's going on. It's scary. It's really scary.
Trump said he wants the Pentagon and Department of Homeland Security to expand a migrant detention facility at the base to hold more than 30,000 migrants. The head of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security on Sunday declined to say whether migrant women, children, or families would be held in the Guantanamo Bay Detention Center. Worldwide News reports.
On February 5, Shanghai residents were grappling with the US Postal Service's temporary suspension of parcel services from China and Hong Kong. This disruption follows a new policy by the Trump administration, which closed the de minimis loophole, ending duty-free shipping for low-value packages. The change, which went into effect on February 4, also included a 10% tariff on Chinese goods.
对，我们有 to B 也有 to C 端口，物流方面肯定也是会有影响的，对。但你刚刚提到的只是邮政嘛，所以我不太清楚有没有其他的快递公司、快递合作方也有可能，我们可能就会换一个合作方式了，这样子。
E-commerce giants like Shein and Temu, who benefited from this exemption, are now facing uncertainty. However, many locals remain optimistic, echoing the resilience that has been a hallmark of Chinese entrepreneurs. At post offices in Hong Kong, the effect of the policy was immediate. Some businessmen were left frustrated when they couldn't track the parcels they had sent to the U.S. As a longtime trader, they expressed his concern over the unpredictable changes.
It's not very good actually for us. Like Hong Kong has a very good reputation for everything, but this is a political war and we don't know what to do. It's because this is one of the main sources for us to send the goods to USA and receive.
Despite the U.S. Postal Service's suspension, other international couriers such as FedEx and SF Express are continuing their deliveries to the U.S. While uncertainty looms, experts believe the e-commerce industry will adapt, as Chinese entrepreneurs always have. Worldwide News Report.
U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth called for peace through strength during a visit from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to the Pentagon on February 5. Hegseth also stated that the Pentagon was open to considering all options regarding Gaza, a day after President Donald Trump expressed interest in U.S. control and redevelopment of the Palestinian region.
Under President Trump's leadership, just like you, we are totally committed to achieving peace through strength, through standing with Israel on our side, putting America first, and never backing down from anything. It has been and will continue to be an unbreakable bond between our countries.
Netanyahu agreed what Hegseth said, indicates that U.S. is a strong ally with Israel.
With our alliance, with your support, including the decision you just mentioned of supplying Israel the much-needed tools for our defense, we are a lot stronger than we've ever been.
But Trump's plan of Gaza is not be supported by everyone, especially pro-Palestinian protesters.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nothing new. Trump, I think, is escalating the repression and escalating the, pushing for escalated colonization in Palestine, but that's something that has been going on since 1948.
Approximately 50 people were present for the rally and march that occurred on campus, much smaller than during the height of pro-Palestinian protests that happened across the country last year. Worldwide News reports.
US President Donald Trump's recent proposal to take over Gaza has sent shockwaves across the globe. The plan suggests relocating Palestinians from the war-torn enclave. This controversial move has drawn sharp criticism from world powers, including China, Germany, and Saudi Arabia.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, will own it, and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
Experts are calling the proposal a non-starter, citing it as an unrealistic solution that violates international law.
Well, my first reaction was that's Trump being Trump. There's no way in hell that this thing is going to work. It involves too many moving parts. It involves ethnic cleansing of Palestine, of Gaza. It involves the American commitment of troops. It involves violations of international law. It involves the Palestinians renouncing their entitlement to the land on which they are. So it's just not going to work. The Middle Eastern countries that have responded so far have been extremely negative. Saudi Arabia has come out and said, of course, that we want a two-state solution. The Egyptians and Jordanians have several times said that they are not interested in taking in Palestinian refugees.
Palestinian leaders, alongside Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Jordan, have outright rejected the plan. Palestinian president labeled the proposal as a threat to their homeland, reiterating support for a two-state solution. Countries in the region are standing firm in their support for Palestinian rights and a peaceful resolution to the long-standing conflict. Many international voices, including United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, have voiced concerns that the plan could lead to ethnic cleansing.
In the search for solutions, we must not make the problem worse. It is vital to stay true to the bedrock of international law. It is essential to avoid any form of ethnic cleansing. We must reaffirm the two-state solution.
Guterres warned that any actions undermining international law and human rights would only worsen the situation. But the White House clarified on Wednesday that Donald Trump has not committed to deploying U.S. troops to Gaza as part of his proposal to take over the Palestinian enclave. Worldwide News Report. Due to heavy snowfall and the long line of people waiting for the cable cars, some decided to climb from Mount Isola to a valley near the Rusatsu Resort in Japan's Hokkaido prefecture, where hotels are located. Heavy snow brought by the coldest air mass this season persisted in northern Japan and coastal areas along the Sea of Japan on February 5. A record-breaking 129-centimeter snowfall in just 12 hours was observed in Obihiro City in Hokkaido prefecture. A strong winter pressure pattern is forecast to continue, and heavy snowfall is expected to last through February 6 in wide swathes of areas including western and southern Japan. Weather officials are urging people to stay alert for traffic disruptions, high waves, and potential power outages. Worldwide News reports. Argentina announced on February 5 that it would pull out of the World Health Organization, following the U.S. lead. President Javier Milei, a close ally of Donald Trump, ordered the move due to deep differences over the WHO's handling of health issues, especially the COVID-19 pandemic.
El presidente Milei instruyó al canciller Gerardo Huertain para retirar la participación de la Argentina en la Organización Mundial de la Salud. La misma se sustenta en las profundas diferencias respecto, por supuesto, a la gestión sanitaria, especialmente durante la pandemia, que junto al gobierno de Alberto Fernández nos llevaron al encierro más largo de la historia de la humanidad y a la falta de independencia frente a la influencia política de algunos estados. Los argentinos no vamos a permitir que un organismo internacional intervenga en nuestra soberanía, mucho menos en nuestra salud.
Milei's decision echoes Trump's stance, who criticized the WHO for mishandling the pandemic and for demanding unfairly onerous payments from the U.S. The previous administration had imposed a strict lockdown, further fueling the decision to withdraw. Worldwide News Report. Thousands gathered in Waitangi on February 6 to celebrate the signing of the country's founding document, but also to debate, discuss and call for a halt on government policies that critics see as undermining its importance and eroding the rights it promised the indigenous population.
This is actually my first time coming here to the dawn ceremony. I haven't been to Waitangi Day in 17 years, but it's a beautiful thing to see. Yeah.
The formal celebrations included a dawn service marking the day in 1840 when the treaty was first signed between the British Crown and more than 500 Maori chiefs.
Waitangi Day is an important day for us as a nation. Māori nei, Pākehā nei, anywhere in between that as well. This feels like a special place to be, and so it always feels like a real privilege to be here to celebrate, but also to think about the things that we haven't quite hit yet. So yeah, that would be why I come.
New Zealand Prime Minister Christopher Luxon did not attend at Waitangi, instead attending an event in the South Island. Worldwide News reports.